Hi, Terry. How are you?
Hi, Jocelyn. Great, great. I'm fine.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I was really looking forward to talking with you. As you know, this year is the 20th anniversary of the Charlotte area chapter of ICF, and you were so instrumental in getting this chapter started. And so I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking with you so that our chapter members can hear from you and, just really hear and appreciate how much you and so many of the past presidents have benefited this chapter. So I've got a few questions to ask you. And so my first one is, you were one of the first coaches in the Charlotte area, and you brought together a group of other coaching professionals. So tell me about the beginning of that journey to becoming an ICF chapter.
Okay. Well, I had been coaching for about 7 years in South Florida at the time, and I had just moved to Charlotte. So there were no contacts for coaches, no official contacts like we now have the ICF, and you can find people that way. It was started in 1990 in Florida. So I got my first certification in 1991. And when I came to Charlotte and started the Coaching Alliance, it was more of a way for me to contact and to be around other people in the same profession. What I found out was that there weren't any certified coaches, or there was no profession of coaching, so to speak. There were therapists, there were people working in corporations, coaching in HR, but there was very little of that. So when I did contact some of the people through small ads in the paper. At that time, there was a newspaper, and there were little throwaway newspapers around town, kind of like FaceTime now or Facebook now. And but it was a very casual thing, and people showed up. They were mostly therapists or people that were intrigued by the small ad, and they came and checked us out. So I decided to continue doing this group, and it grew and it grew. And people like John Bennett and Brent Brower and Kathy Fletcher joined in, and we became a larger group. We went to the YWCA because there was a nice meeting room there, and started to have our ICF meetings there. That was not called ICF yet, but it was a natural evolution, so to speak, from the Coaching Alliance to become an ICF chapter, and it gave credibility to the coaching profession for those people that had been already certified as myself. And so that's how it got started.
Yeah, that is wonderful. It's great to hear that story. So which leads me to the next question, because this was well before coaching was known as a profession. So what, if any, barriers were there for coaches when it was not recognized yet as a profession?
Yeah, the first thing people think of when you think coaching, and still we think of sports.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was even more so. The sports was the only coaching that existed in the mind of people, or therapy. And my job as a coach was to educate people. And I told them the distinction: coaching versus therapy, coaching versus mentoring, versus being a friend. Why would you have a coach versus talking to a good friend? So distinctions were important, and that's what I focused on with people. And that broke the barrier slowly. And also I got on the radio with the Mike Collins show and talked about the coaching profession and how it evolved and why it was so interesting. And out of that, Joan, I forget the last name now, one of the very good coaches here in Charlotte, became one of my clients when she heard about a coaching. She said, "Oh my God, this is incredible. I want to be one of those." And that's how it often started for people. I want to be one of those, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that is great. And I just, just really appreciate hearing, the story and the legacies that you all have created. We have a lot of new folks that join the chapter. Either they're new as coaches or they are coaching and development. And we also get a lot of outreach from people who want to know about coaching and how I can become a coach. So what advice can you give to new coaches and coaches in development, about this work?
Yeah, I would say that everyone you meet may lead you to a possible client.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is, treat everyone with respect, ask them questions, and don't step over stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just be with that person and share something, help them perhaps with an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Don't coach for lengths of time, but just flow, go with the flow when you meet someone. Especially at this particular time during the COVID-19, we really have a lot of other issues that have come up that have never existed before. And it's a very painful time for a lot of people. If we're able to alleviate some of that pain by listening, by being a coach temporarily, we can really make a difference to that person. And I really personally have found that very often that I can make a difference just by listening and being there for another person. Another thing that I find is that people don't always realize how other coaches are there for them when they're starting out. Just to be able to talk to a coach that has been there before and say, what do I do with this? How do I handle this? I had people like that. I literally called people all the time, but I didn't get that many calls when I was beginning here in Charlotte. So I would suggest that don't hesitate, go ahead and call people. If you feel like you have a question, coaches are always willing to talk to you, and find a niche as soon as you possibly can, because there are needs out there that there is no niche for or niche. So if you can find a way to alleviate some of this situation right now, you can find your own space in there to do it.
That is awesome. And I have certainly learned a lot in this short period of time talking with you. And so before we go, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would want any of our chapter members to know?
I think trusting your intuition, but also do your own research. That's an important thing.
Great. Awesome.
And I look forward to more together with you.
Yeah, same here. This has truly been an honor. You are past president 2000. You were the very first past president. And so, a lot of what we're doing now is because of coaches like you. So I just really want to say thank you. Just thank you on behalf of the chapter, and thank you on behalf of coaches everywhere for giving us a few minutes of your time. And I look forward to talking with you again.
Me too, Jeff. Thank you. Bye-bye.